The city fill water tank fill valve has got a leak in it. If we come over here, you can see the dark line on the fresh tanks there. That's water filling up the tanks. It only takes about 2 or 3 days now for the tanks to fill up and start overflowing out of the overflow valve right there between the two tanks. So I've ordered a new valve and I'm going to replace it today. That's what the replacement valve looks like, and it looks pretty easy to get on there. Hopefully the old one's as easy to get off as this looks to put on. And you get to it through that panel right there. And it's gonna give me access to all the plumbing behind this bay here. This panel here has a series of screws along the bottom here, and a couple over there at the end and along the top. Make sure to turn the water off before you start working on this, and let the water pressure out with the outdoor shower hose here. Just let that run for a second. All right, this is with the panel off. You can see here that you've got a pretty good look at the side of the black tank here and all the plumbing behind this panel here. And so this one here is the one we're after. I need to take a couple of screws off from the outside here. It looks like it's going to be that screw right there. So I'll go ahead and start with that and come back when I've got this off. I loosened this up here from the main water inlet to give me some room to tilt this around. With a lot of tugging and pulling, I was able to get that first section off there, and now I'm going to try and get this upper section off. I put the bolt back on there so that I could give it some stability while I'm doing that. I don't want to pull out any of the other connections or create any leaks. It wasn't easy. I was able to actually, once I took that screw out, pull this all the way over to here, where I hopefully can get a little bit better torque on it to get it off. That's the hose running back to the fresh tanks right there. Got the new one on, and I'm gonna feed it back through up to where it goes right there, and try and get this end of the hose stuck back on and tightened up. Got the valve back where it goes, and now I'm going to try and get that back hose back on there. Hopefully I didn't bend it around too much. Alright, everything is put back together. I'm about to test it and see if I didn't break anything by loosening all these connections up. I got a little bit of a drip here, but I haven't even turned the water on yet, so hopefully that's just some kind of residual something. And it's leaking right where I worried it was going to leak. There's that rubber grommet right there, and getting it seated again while this was all assembled was pretty difficult. So I took this piece off from right here, and I'm going to take this piece apart and try and get this end that goes right there seated correctly. Putting this piece back on first, making sure that grommet was seated properly was the way to go. Once I put everything back together here, the leak stopped. if we come out here, we've got a nice solid sounding switch between city and water tank fill. Letting the tanks drain out, and we'll check in a couple of days and see if they filled back up.